a year ago, on this very day, the 5th of May, your name day, Irina. It was very cold and snow was falling. I felt as though I should not live through it, but you lay fainting as though you were dead. But now a year has passed, and we can think of it calmly. You're already in a white dress, and your face is radiant. I remember the band was playing and firing at the cemetery as they carried the coffin. He was a general in command of a brigade, yet there weren't many people there. It was raining, though, heavy rain and snow. Well, why recall it? It's warm today. We can have the windows open, but the bushes are not leaf yet. Father was given his brigade and moved here with us 11 years ago from Moscow, and I remember distinctly that at this time of year, at the beginning of May, everything was already in flower. It was warm and everything was bathed in sunshine. It was 11 years ago, and yet I remember it as though we had left it yesterday. Oh dear. I woke up this morning, I saw the spring, and joy stirred in my heart. I had a passionate longing to be back at home again.
The devil it is.
Of course, it's nonsense.
Masha, don't whistle. Can you? Being all day at school and then at my lessons until the evening gives me a perpetual headache. Thoughts as gloomy as though I were old. Really, these 4 years I've been at the high school, I felt my strength and my youth oozing away from me every day. Only one yearning grows stronger and stronger.
To go back to Moscow, to sell a house, make an end of everything here, and off to Moscow.
To go back to Moscow, and quickly.
Andrey will probably be a professor. He will not live here anyhow. The only difficulty is, well, poor Masha.
No, Masha will come and spend the whole summer every year.
Well, please God, it will all be managed. How fine it is today. I don't know why I feel so lighthearted. I remember this morning that it was my name day, and once I felt joyful, and I thought of childhood when Mother was living. And I was thrilled by such wonderful thoughts, such thoughts.
You are radiant today, and looking lovelier than usual. Masha's lovely, too. Andrey would be nice looking, but he's grown too fat, and that does not suit him at all. I've grown older and ever so much thinner. I suppose it's because I get cross with the girls at school. It's quite all right. I'm only 28. It's all from God, but I can't help but feel that if I were married and sitting at home all day, things would be better. I would love my husband.
Oh, you talk such nonsense. I'm tired of listening to you. No, I forgot to tell you. You will receive a visit today from Vershinin, the new commander of our battery.
Oh, well, I'll be delighted.
Is he old?
No, not particularly. 40 or 45 at the most. He's not stupid. He seems to be a nice fellow. Only he talks quite a bit.
Well, is he interesting?
Yes, he's all right. Only he has a wife and a mother-in-law and 2 little girls, and, well, it's his second wife, too. Oh, and he's paying calls and telling everyone that he has a wife and 2 little girls. He'll probably tell you so, too. His wife, she seems a bit crazy with her hair in a long braid, just like a little girl's. She always talks in some high-flown style, makes philosophical reflections, and frequently attempts to commit suicide. Evidently to annoy her husband. I should have left a woman like that years ago, but he puts up with her and merely complains.
With one hand, I can lift up half a hundredweight, but with both hands, I can lift up 2 or even 2.5 hundredweight. So from that, I conclude that 2 men are twice as strong as 1 man, if not 3 times.
For hair falling out, 2 ounces of naphthalene and half a bottle of alcohol, to be dissolved and to use daily. Let's make a note of that. No, I don't want it. Doesn't matter.
Ivan Romanich, my dear Ivan Romanich.
What is it, my child, my joy?
Well, tell me, why am I so happy today? As if I were sailing with the great blue sky above me and big white birds flying over it. Why is it?
My dear white bird.
When I woke up this morning, got up and washed, it suddenly seemed to me as if everything in the world was clear to me, and I knew how one ought to live. My dear Ivan Romanich, I do know all about it. A man ought to work, to toil in the sweat of his brow, whomever he may be, and all the purpose and meaning of his life, his happiness, his ecstasies, they lie in that alone. How delightful to be a workman who gets up before dawn to break stones on the road, or a shepherd, or a schoolmaster teaching children, or even an engine driver. Oh dear, to say nothing of human beings, it would be better to be an ox, better to be a humble horse as long as you can work, than to be a young lady that wakes at noon and then has coffee in bed, then spends 2 hours dressing. How awful that is. Just as one has a craving for water in hot weather, I have a craving for work. And if I don't get up early and work, well then give me up as a friend, Ivan Rokovich.
I'll give you up. I'll give you up.
Father trained us to get up at 7 o'clock every morning. Now Irina wakes up at 7 and then lies in bed until 9 just thinking about things. And she looks so serious.
You have grown used to thinking of me as a child and are surprised when I look serious. I am 20.
Oh dear, the yearning for work. How well I understand it. I've never worked a day in my life. I was born in cold, idle Petersburg, in a family that knew nothing of work or cares of any kind. You know, I remember when I was a child and I came home from the military school, a valet used to pull off my boots. I used to be a troublesome child, but my mother, she looked at me with reverential awe, and she was surprised when other people didn't do the same. I was shielded from work, but I doubt if they have succeeded in shielding me completely. I doubt it. The time is at hand. An avalanche is moving down upon us. A mighty clearing storm which is coming, and is already near, will soon blow the laziness, the indifference, the distaste for work, and the rotten boredom out of our society. All work, and in another 25 or 30 years, everyone will have to work. Everyone.
I'm not going to work.
Oh, you don't count. In another 20 or 30 years, you'll be dead, thank God. And in 2 or 3 years, you will kick the bucket if I don't lose my temper and put a bullet through your head first. My angel.
And besides, I've really never done anything at all in the first place. I've hardly done a stroke of work since I left the university. I don't even read books. I read only the papers. For instance, I know from the papers that there was one such a man as Dobrolyubov, but what he did or what he wrote, I honestly can't say. Goodness only knows. Ah, they're calling for me downstairs. Wait just a moment. I'll be back directly.
He has something up his sleeve.
Yes, he went out with a solemn face. Evidently, he's just going to bring you a present.
Well, what a nuisance!
I know, it's awful. He's always up to something silly.
By the sea strand an oak tree green, upon that oak a chain of gold.
You're not very cheerful today, Masha. And where are you going?
Home.
Well, that's odd.
To walk out on a name day party.
Never mind, I'll come again in the evening. Goodbye, my darling. Once again, I wish you be well and happy. In old days, when Father was alive, there were always 30 or 40 officers here on name days. It was noisy. But today, there's only a man and a half, and it's as still as the desert. I'll go. I'm feeling glum. I've got the blues today, so don't you mind what I say. We'll talk again some other time, so for now I'm going.
How tiresome you are.
I understand you, Masha.
If a man philosophizes, there will be great philosophy or sophistry. But if a woman philosophizes, or to it that, I declare will be much twiddle-twaddle.
What do you mean to say by that, you terrible person?
Nothing. He had not time to say alack before the bear was on his back.
Don't blubber. This way, my good man. Come along. Your boots are clean. From the district council, from Mikhail Ivanich Protopakov, a cake.
Well, thank you, and thank him for me.
What?
Thank him for me.
Nettie dear, get him something to eat. Ferapont, go along. They will get you something to eat.
Huh? Come along, Ferapont Spiridonich, my good man. Come along.
I don't like that Protopopov, that Mikhail Potapich or Ivanich. He ought not to be invited.
I didn't invite him.
That's a good thing.
A son of a bar? Oh, how awful.
My dear Ivan Romanich, what are you thinking about?
I warned you.
Ivan Romanich, you really have no conscience.
Ah, my dear girls, my darlings, you're all that I have left. The most precious treasures I've got on this earth. I'm an old man. I shall soon be 60. A useless old man alone in the world. There's nothing good in me anymore, except perhaps my love for you all. And were it not for you, I would have been dead years ago. My dear little girl, my darling, I've known you since you were a baby. I've held you in my arms, and I loved your dear mother.
But why such expensive presents?
Oh, expensive presents. Get on with you. Take the samovar in there. Expensive presents.
My dear, a stranger's here, a colonel? He's taking off his overcoat, children. He's coming up here. Iranushka, you must be nice and polite, dear. And it's time for lunch already, mercy on us.
Vershinin, I suppose.
Lieutenant Colonel Vershinin. I have the honor to introduce myself. My name is Vershinin. I'm very, very happy to be in your house at last, but how you have grown up. Oh my goodness.
Please sit down. We're delighted to see you.
How glad I am, but there were 3 of you sisters. I remember 3 little girls. I don't remember your faces, but your father, Colonel Prozorof, had 3 little girls I remember perfectly. I saw them with my own eyes. How time passes. Hey, oh, how it passes.
Alexander Ignatievich has come from Moscow.
From Moscow, really? You've come from Moscow?
Yes, your father was in command of a battery there, and I was an officer in the same brigade. Your face now I seem to remember.
I don't remember you.
Olga, come! Lieutenant Colonel Vershinin from Moscow.
So
It appears.
you are Olga Sergeyevna, the eldest, and you are Maria, and you are Irina, the youngest.
Yes, you come from Moscow?
Yes, I began my service there. I've served there for years, and at last I've been given command of a battery here. I moved here, as you see. I don't remember your faces. I only remember you were 3 little girls. I remember your father. If I shut my eyes, I can see him as though he were living. I used to visit you in Moscow.
I thought I remembered everyone, but now all at once...
My name is Alexander Ignatievich.
Alexander Ignatievich, you've come from Moscow. What a surprise!
We are going to live there, you know.
We're hoping to be there by the autumn. It's our native town. We were born there. Old Basmania Street.
To see someone from our own town unexpectedly. Now I remember you. Oh yeah, do you remember they used to speak of the lovesick major? You were a lieutenant then, and were in love, and for some reason everyone called you Major to tease you.
Yes, the lovesick major, that was it.
You only had a mustache then. How much older you look. How much older.
Yes, when I was the lovesick major, I was young and I was in love, but now things are very different.
But you haven't a single gray hair. You've grown older, but you're not old.
I am in my 43rd year, though. Now, is it long since you left Moscow?
11 years.
But why are you crying, Masha, you foolish girl? I should cry too.
I'm all right. And in which street did you live?
In old Batsmania.
That's where we live too.
At one time I lived in Yemetsky Street. I used to go from there to the Red Barracks, and there's a gloomy-looking bridge along the way where the water makes a noise. It makes a lonely man feel melancholy, but here, what a broad, splendid river. Marvelous river.
Yes, but it's cold, and it's cold here, and there are mosquitoes.
How can you? You have such a splendid, healthy Russian climate here. Forest and river, and birches here too. Charming, modest birches. I love them better than any other tree. It's very nice to live here. The only strange thing is that the railway station is 15 miles away and no one knows why it's so.
I know why it is. It's because if the railway station were near, it would not be so far. And if it is far, it is only because it is not near.
He's fond of his joke.
Oh, I recall you too. I remember that.
I knew your mother.
She was a fine woman, the kingdom of heaven be hers.
Mother is buried in Moscow.
In the Novodevichy.
Would you believe it? I'm already beginning to forget her face. So people won't remember us either. They'll forget us.
Well, yes, they'll forget us, but such is our fate. There's no helping it. What seems to us serious, significant, and very important will one day be forgotten or seem unimportant. And It's curious that we cannot possibly tell what will be considered great and important and what will seem petty and ridiculous. Didn't the discoveries of Copernicus or Columbus, let's say, seem useless and ridiculous at first, while the nonsensical writings of some fools seems true? And it may be that our present life, which we accept so readily, will in time seem strange and inconvenient and not clean enough and perhaps even sinful.
Well, who knows? Perhaps our age shall be called a great one and remembered with respect. Now we have no torture chambers, no executions, no invasions, but at the same time, how much suffering there is.
Chook, chook, chook! It's all bread and meat to the Baron to talk about such ideas.
Vasily Vassilovich! I ask you to let me alone! It's boring at last!
Chook, chook, chook!
The suffering, which one observes now, there is so much of it, does indicate, however, that society has reached a certain moral level.
Well, yes, of course.
You said just now, Baron, that our age might be called great, and yet people will still be just as small as they ever were. Look at me, look how small I am.
That's Andrey playing, our brother.
He's the scholar of the family. Now, father was a military man, but his son has gone in for a scholarly career.
It was father's wish.
We've been teasing him today. We think he might be a little in love.
With a young lady living here, and she'll come in today, most likely.
How she dresses. Look, it's not that her clothes are merely ugly or out of fashion. They're simply pitiful. A weird, gaudy, yellowish skirt with some sort of vulgar fringe and a red blouse. And her cheeks scrubbed until they shine. Ugh, Andrey is not in love with her. I won't admit to that. He has some taste after all. It's simply for fun. He's teasing us, playing the fool. I heard yesterday that she's going to be married to Prozorof, the chairman of our district council, and a very good thing too. Andrey! Come here, dear, for a minute.
And this is our brother, Andrey Sergeyevich.
My name is Vershinin.
And mine is Prozorof. You're our new battery commander?
Can you believe? Alexander Ignatievich comes from Moscow.
Really? Well, then I congratulate you, for my sister shall let you have no peace.
I'm afraid I've had time enough to bore your sisters already.
Now see what a pretty picture frame Andrey has given me today. He made it himself.
Well, yes, it is a thing.
And that frame above the piano, he made that one too.
He's a scholar. And he plays the violin and makes all sorts of things with the fret saw. In fact, he's good all around. Andrey, don't go. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a way he has, always trying to make up. Andrey, come here.
Leave me alone, please.
Come. How funny he is. Now, Alexander Ignatievich used to be called the lovesick major, and he wasn't a bit offended.
Not in the least.
I'd like to call you the lovesick violinist.
Or the lovesick professor.
He's in love. Andrusha's in love.
Oh, bravo, ancora, Andrusha is in love.
Nature of hearts of love created.
Come! That's enough! That's enough! I haven't slept all night this morning. I don't feel quite myself, as they say. I read till 4 o'clock and then went to bed, but it was no use. Thought of one thing and another, and the sun simply pours into my bedroom. I wonder while I'm here to translate a book from the English.
You read English, then?
Yes. Our Father, the kingdom of heaven be his, oppressed us with knowledge. It's funny and silly, but it must be confessed. After his death, I began to grow too fat in 1 year's time, as though a weight had been taken off my body. Yes, thanks to our Father, we each know English, French, and German. And Irina knows Italian too, but what it cost us.
In our town, to know 3 languages is an unnecessary luxury. Not even a luxury, but an unnecessary encumbrance. Like a 6th finger. We know a great deal that's unnecessary.
What next? You know a great deal that is unnecessary? I don't think there can be a town so dull and dismal that intelligent and educated people are unnecessary in it. Let's suppose, perhaps, that of the 100,000 people living in this town, which is, of course, uncultured and behind the times, there are only 3 of your sort. It goes without saying that you cannot conquer the mass of darkness around you. Little by little, as you go on living, you'll be lost in the crowd. You'll have to give into it, but still, you'll not disappear without a trace. After you, there may are perhaps 6 of your kind, and then 12, and so on until such as you forms a majority. In 200 or 300 years, life on Earth will be unimaginably beautiful, marvelous. And man needs such a life. Though he hasn't got it yet, he must have a presentiment of it, expect it, dream of it, and prepare for it. For that, he must know more than his father and grandfather before him. And you complain of knowing a great deal that is unnecessary.
I'll stay to lunch.
Well, that really ought to be written down.
You say that after many years, life on Earth will be beautiful and marvelous. Now that's true, but in order to have any share in it, however far off, now we must be preparing for it. We must be working.
Yes, yes. What a lot of flowers you have. And delightful rooms. I envy you. I've been knocking about all my life from one wretched lodging to another, always with 2 chairs and a sofa and stoves which smoke. What I've been lacking all my life is just such flowers, but then there's no use thinking about it.
Yes, we must work. No doubt you think that the German is getting sentimental, but on my honor, I am Russian, and I can't even speak German. My father belonged to the Orthodox Church.
I often think, what if you were to begin life over again, knowing what you were doing? If one life were the first draft, so to speak, and the second were the final copy, I think every one of us would try before anything else not to repeat himself. Anyway, he would create a different setting for his life, would have a house like this with plenty of light and masses of flowers, and I have a wife and 2 little girls, and my wife is in delicate health, and so on and so on, but if I were to begin over again, I would not marry, no.
Dear sister, allow me to congratulate you on your name day, and with all of my heart to wish you good health and everything else that one can desire for a girl of your age. And to give you as a gift this little book, The History of Our High School for 50 Years, written by myself. An insignificant little book written because I had nothing better to do, but still, you can read it. Good day, friends. I am Kulygin, teacher in the high school here, court counselor. In that book, you'll find a list of all who have finished their studies here for the past 50 years. Fici quod petui facient melior potentes.
But you gave me a copy of this book last Easter.
Impossible. If that be so, give it me back. Or better still, give it to the Colonel. Please accept it, Colonel. Someday, when you're bored, you can read it.
Well, thank you. I am very delighted to have made your acquaintance.
Oh, no, you're not going.
You must stay for lunch with us, please do.
Pray do.
I believe I have intruded on a name day party. Forgive me, I didn't know and I haven't congratulated you.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, is Sunday, a day of rest. Let's all rest and enjoy ourselves, each in accordance with our age and our position. The carpet should be taken up for the summer and put away till the winter, Persian powder or naphthalene. The Romans were healthy because they knew how to work and they knew how to rest. They had mens sana and corpore sano. Their life was molded into a certain framework. Our headmaster says the most important thing in life is its framework, and what loses its framework comes to an end. And it is so in our everyday life. Masha loves me. My wife loves me. And the window curtains, too, ought to be put away with the carpets. Oh, today I feel cheerful and in the best of spirits. Masha, at 4 o'clock we have to be at the headmaster's house. An excursion has been arranged for the teachers and their families.
I'm not going.
Dear Masha, why not?
We'll talk about it afterwards. Very well, I'll go. Only leave me alone, please.
And then we shall spend the evening in the headmaster's house. In spite of the delicate state of that man's health, he tries before all things to be sociable. He's an excellent, noble personality, a splendid man. And just yesterday, after the meeting, he said to me, "I'm tired, Fyodor Ilyich, I'm tired." Your clock is 7 minutes fast. Yes, he said, I'm tired.
Come to lunch, please. And there's a pie.
Ah, Olga, my dear Olga. Yesterday I was working from early morning till 11 o'clock at night, and I was tired out. But today, I feel happy. My dear.
Pie! Splendid!
Only mind you don't drink today. Do you hear? It's bad for you to drink.
Come now, that's a thing of the past. I've not been drunk in 2 years. And besides, my good girl, what does it matter anyway?
Don't you dare to drink. Don't dare. Oh, hang it all! I'm going to be bored a whole evening at the headmaster's.
I wouldn't go if I were you. It's very simple.
Don't go, my love.
Oh yes, don't go. It's a damnable life, insufferable.
Come.
Enough! Vasily Vasilovich! Stop it!
Your health, Colonel. I'm a teacher and one of the family here. Masha, she's very kind, really very kind.
I'll have some of this dark colored vodka. To your health.
I feel so happy with all of you.
Here.
Masha's in low spirits today. You see, she was married at 18 when she thought him the cleverest of men, but now it's not the same. He's the kindest of men, but he's not the cleverest.
Andrey, come on!
I'm coming. What are you thinking about?
Nothing. You know, I don't like that Solyony. I'm afraid of him. He keeps on saying such stupid things.
Oh, he's a strange man. I feel sorry for him and annoyed by him. Oh, but more sorry. I think he's shy. When it's just the two of us, he's always very intelligent and friendly, but whenever we're in company, he's always rude and bully. Oh, don't go yet. Let them sit down to the table. Let me be by you. Oh, how many years have we got before us? A long chain of days full of my love for you.
Nikolai Lvovich, don't talk to me about love.
I have a passionate craving for life, for struggle, for work, and that craving is mingled in my soul with my love for you. And just because you're beautiful, it seems to me that life too is beautiful. What are you thinking of?
You say life is beautiful. Well, yes, but what if it only seems so? Life for us three sisters hasn't been beautiful yet. We have been stifled by it as plants are choked by weeds. And I'm starting to cry. I mustn't do that. I must work. The reason we are depressed and take such a gloomy view of life is that we know nothing of work. We come of a people who despise work.
We got to lunch already. Wait. My hair is all right.
Dear Irina Sergeyevna, I congratulate you. You have such a lot of visitors, I really feel embarrassed. Good day, Baron.
Well, here's Natalia Ivanovna. How are you, my dear?
Congratulations on the name day. Such a big party, I feel awfully embarrassed.
Oh, nonsense. We have only our own people. But, my dear, you're wearing a green sash. That's just not done.
Why, is it a bad omen?
No, it just doesn't go with your dress. It looks odd.
You know, it's not green exactly, it's more of a dull color.
I wish you a good fiancé, Irina. It's time for you to think of getting married.
Natalia Ivanovna, I hope we may soon hear of your engagement as well.
Natalia Ivanovna has got a suitor already.
I'll have another little glass of wine. You only live once?
You deserve 3 bad marks for conduct.
How nice and cordial is it? What's it made of?
Cockroaches.
Disgusting! We are going to have roast turkey and apple pie for supper. Thank God I will be at home all day, and you'll be so too in the evening. Friends, won't you come again this evening?
Allow me to come too.
Oh, please do.
They don't stand on ceremony here.
Nature our hearts offer love created.
Stop it, gentlemen. Aren't you tired of it yet?
Why, they're at lunch already.
Yes, they're at lunch already.
Wait one moment. And another. There we go.
My congratulations. I wish you everything. The weather is delightful, just perfectly magnificent. I've been out for a walk all morning with the high school boys. I teach them gymnastics, you know.
You may move, Irina Sergeyevna, you may move. You look absolutely charming today. Oh, by the way, I got you a top. It has a lovely sound.
Well, how wonderful.
Why the sea strand an oak tree green? It's upon that oak tree of gold. Why do I keep saying that? That phrase has been haunting me all day.
13 at table.
Sure, don't attach importance to such superstition.
If there are 13 at table, it means that someone present is in love. It's not you, by chance, Ivan Romanich.
Well, I'm an old sinner, but why Natalia Ivanovna is blushing, I have no idea.
Wait a minute. Stop, please.
I feel ashamed. I don't know what's the matter with me. They all make fun of me. I know it's improper for me to leave the table like this, but I can't help it. can't.
Oh, my dear girl, please, I assure you, they're only joking. They're all kind, warm-hearted people, and they're fond of me and of you. Come, here they can't see us.
I'm accustomed to society.
Youth. Lovely, marvelous youth. Dear, my sweet, don't be distressed. Believe me. Believe me, I'm so happy and full of love that They can't see us. They can't see us. Well, I love you. When I first loved you, I don't know, but my dear, my sweet, pure one, be my wife. I love you. I love you as I have loved no one else.
What are you doing, Andrusha? Reading? Never mind, I only just asked. Right?
What is it, Natasha?
I was looking to see whether there was a light. It's carnival. The servants aren't acting normally. We've got to be on the lookout in case something goes wrong. Last night at 12 o'clock, I was passing through the dining room and there was a candle left burning. I couldn't find out who had lighted it. Do you have the time?
8:15.
Olga and Irina aren't in yet. Alexander's still at work, poor dears. Olga is at the faculty meeting. Irina is at the telegraph office. I was saying to your sister this morning, take care of yourself, Irina, darling, but she won't listen. By the way, I'm afraid that our Bobik is not at all well. Now, why is he so cold? Yesterday he was feverish and today he is cold all over. I'm so anxious.
I assure you, Natasha, the boy is quite well.
We ought to be more careful about his food anyway. I'm anxious. I'm told that the mummers are going to be here at 9 o'clock for the carnival party. Perhaps it would be better for them not to come, Andrusha.
I don't know. They've been invited, you know.
Yes. Baby woke up this morning and he looked at me and all at once he gave a smile. So he knew me. Good morning, Bobik. Good morning, darling, said I, and he laughed. Little babies understand. They understand very well. I'll tell them not to let the carnival party come in.
That's for my sisters to say. It's their house. It's for them to give orders.
For them, too. I'll speak to them. They're so kind. I've ordered yogurt for your supper. The doctor says that you must eat nothing but yogurt or you will never get thinner. Bobik's room is cold and damp, and perhaps we should move him to a different room until the warm weather comes. Irina's room, for instance, is just right for a nursery. It's dry, the sun shines there all day. I might tell her she must move into Olga's room for a time. Andrey, why don't you speak?
Nothing. Besides, I have nothing to say.
Yes. What was it I meant to tell you? Ferapont has come from the district council and is asking for you.
Send him in. Good evening, my good man. What is it?
The chairman has sent a book and a paper of some sort here.
Thanks. Very good, but why have you come so late? It's past 8 o'clock.
Huh?
I say you have come late. It's past 8 o'clock.
Just so. I did come before it was dark, but they wouldn't let me see you. The master is busy, they told me. Well, of course, if you are busy, I'm in no hurry. Huh?
Nothing. There's no meeting tomorrow, but I'll go in anyway and do my work. It's boring here. My dear old man, how strangely life changes and deceives you. Well, today I was so bored and had nothing to do that I picked up this book, Old University Lectures, and I laughed. Dear old man, I'm a secretary of the district council. The best I can hope for is to be a member, me, a member of the local district council, while every night I dream that I'm a professor at the University of Moscow, a distinguished man of whom all Russia is proud.
I can't say, sir. I don't hear well.
Perhaps if you did, I shouldn't talk to you. I must talk to someone. My wife doesn't understand me. My sisters I'm somehow afraid of. Afraid they'll laugh at me and make me ashamed. I don't drink. I'm not fond of restaurants, but I'd enjoy sitting at test stops. Or the Bolshoi Moskovsky? Just sitting there, dear old man.
You know, a contractor was saying the other day that there were some merchants in Moscow eating pancakes. One who ate 40, it seems, died. It was either 40 or 50. I don't remember.
In Moscow, you sit at a large table, you know no one, and no one knows you, but you don't feel a stranger. And yet here, you know everyone, and everyone knows you, and you are a stranger and lonely.
Huh? And he also says, and maybe it's not true, that there's a rope stretched right across Moscow.
What for?
I can't say. The contractor said so.
Nonsense. Have you ever been to Moscow?
No, it was never God's will I should. Mind if I go?
Yes. You can go. Take care. Come tomorrow and pick up these papers. Yes, go. He's gone. Yes, it's work.
I don't know. Of course, habit means a great deal. After Father's death, for instance, it was a while before we could get used to having no orderlies in the house. But apart from habit, I think it's a feeling of justice makes me say so. Perhaps it's not so in other places, but in our town, the most decent, honorable, well-bred people are all in the army.
Well, I'm thirsty. I'd love some tea.
They'll soon be bringing it. I was married when I was 18, and I was afraid of my husband because he was a teacher and I had only just left school. In those days, I thought him an awfully scholarly, clever, and important person. But now it's not the same, unfortunately.
Yes, I see.
I'm not speaking of my husband. I'm used to him. But among civilians generally, there are so many rude, ill-mannered, badly brought-up people. Rudeness upsets and distresses me. I'm unhappy when I see that a man is not polite, not refined, not gentle enough. And when I have to be among the teachers, my husband's colleagues, it makes me quite miserable.
Well, to my mind, it makes no difference whether they're civilians or military. They're both equally uninteresting, in this town anyway. Well, if one listens to a man of the educated class here, civilian or military, he's worried to death by his wife, he's worried to death by his house, worried to death by his estate, worried to death by his horses. A Russian is peculiarly given to exalted ideas, but why is it he always falls so short in life? Why?
Why?
Why is he worried to death by his wife and children, and why are his wife and children worried to death by him?
You seem rather depressed this evening.
Perhaps. I've had no dinner today and had nothing to eat since the morning. My daughter is not quite well, and when my children are ill, I'm consumed by anxiety. My conscience reproaches me for having given them such a mother. And if you had seen her today, we began quarreling at 7 o'clock in the morning, and by 9 I slammed the door and went away. It's strange, really. I never talk about it. It's really only to you I complain. Don't be angry with me. Except for you, I have no one. No one.
There's a noise in the stove. After Father's death, there was always a howling in the chimney. There, just like that.
Are you superstitious?
Yes.
That's strange. You are a splendid, wonderful woman. Splendid and wonderful. It's dark in here, but I can see the light in your eyes.
It's lighter here.
I love you. I love you. I love your eyes. I love your movements. I see them in my dreams even. Splendid, wonderful woman.
When you talk to me like that, I laugh, though I'm frightened. Please don't do it again. You may say it, though. I don't mind. I don't mind.
I've got a 3-barreled name. My name is Baron Tuzenbakh, Cromwell, but I belong to the Orthodox Church, and I am just as Russian as you. There's very little of the German level in me. Nothing, perhaps, but the patience and obstinacy with which I bore you. I walk you home every evening.
How tired I am.
And every day I'll come to the telegraph office and walk you home. I'll do it for 10 years, for 20 years till you drive me away. Oh, it's you. How are you?
Well, I'm home at last. A lady came just now to telegraph her brother in Saratov that her son died today. And she couldn't remember the address, so she sent it without an address, simply to Saratov. She was crying. And I was rude to her for absolutely no reason, told her I had no time to waste. I'm so stupid. Are the Carnival people coming tonight?
Yes.
I must rest. I'm tired.
When you come home from the office, you seem so young, so forlorn.
I'm tired. I don't like telegraph work. I don't like it.
You've grown thinner, and you look younger. Rather like a boy in the face.
That's just the way she does her hair.
I must find some other job. This does not suit me at all. What I so longed for, what I really dreamed of, is the very thing that this is lacking in. It's work without poetry, without meaning. There's the doctor knocking. Knock back, dear. I can't. I'm tired. You know, we really ought to do something about it. The doctor and our Andrey were at the club yesterday, and I'm told they lost again. Andrey lost 200 rubles.
Well, it can't be helped now.
2 weeks ago, he lost money. In December, he lost money. I wish he'd hurry up and lose everything, then maybe we'd go away from this town. My God, every night I dream of Moscow. It's perfect madness. We'll move there in June, and they're still left February, March, April, May. Almost half a year.
The only thing is, Natasha must not know of his losses.
I don't suppose she cares.
There he is. Has he paid his rent?
No, not a kopeck in 8 months. Evidently, he's forgotten.
How gravely he sits.
Well, why are you so quiet, Alexander Ignatievich?
I don't know. I'm longing for tea. I would give half my life for a glass of tea. I've had nothing to eat since the morning.
Irina Sergeyevna!
What is it?
Come here, Vinicici. I can't do without you.
Well, if they won't bring tea, let's discuss something.
By all means. What?
What? Let us dream, perhaps, of the life that shall come after us in 200 or 300 years.
Well, when we are dead, man will fly in balloons, change the fashions of their coat, discover a sixth sense, perhaps, and develop it, but life will be just the same. Difficult, full of mysteries and happiness. In 1,000 years, man will sigh just the same. Ah, how hard life is. And yet, just as now, he will be afraid of death and not want it.
Well, I don't know. It seems to me everything on Earth is bound to change by degrees, and is already changing before our eyes. And in another 200 or 300 years, perhaps in 1,000, the time doesn't matter, a new happy life will come. We shall have no share in that life, of course, but we're living for it. We're creating it. It's suffering, yes, but we are creating it. And that alone is the sole purpose for our existence, and is our happiness, if you like. Well, what is it?
I don't know. I've been laughing all day.
I didn't go to the military academy. I was at the same school you were. I didn't know how to choose my books, so I very likely read quite the wrong things, but the longer I live, the more I want to know. I'm almost an old man. My hair's turning gray, but I know so little. Oh, so little, but how I should like to make you see that there is no happiness for us. There ought not to be, and there will not be. We must work, and happiness is the sole portion for our descendants. If it's not for me, then it's for the descendants of my descendants.
You think there is no use even dreaming of happiness? But what if I'm happy?
No, you're not.
It is clear that we do not understand each other. Oh well, how am I to convince you? Oh, laugh. Not only in 200 or 300 years, but in 1,000,000 years, life will be just the same. It doesn't change. It remains stationary, following its own laws, which we have nothing to do with, or which, anyway, we shall never find out. Now, migratory birds, cranes, for instance, fly backwards and forwards, and whatever ideas, great or small, stray through their minds, they'll still go on flying without knowing where or why. They fly, and will continue to fly, no matter how philosophic they may become. And it doesn't matter how philosophical they may become, so long as they go on flying.
But still, isn't there a meaning?
Meaning? But here it is snowing. What meaning is there in that?
I think that man ought to have faith, or ought to seek a faith, or else his life is empty. Empty. To go through life and not understand why cranes fly, why babies are born, why there are stars in the sky. You've got to know what you're living for, or else it's all nonsense and a waste.
And yet you're sorry when your youth is over.
Gogol says, it's dull living in this world, friends.
And I say it is hard arguing with you, friends. Oh well, I give up.
Zak was married at Fedotik today. I really must put that down in my book. Zak was married at Fedotik.
Zak was married at Fedotik.
The die is cast. You know, Maria Sergeyevna, I've resigned my commission.
So I hear. And I see no good in that. I don't like civilians.
Never mind. I'm not good looking enough for a soldier. But that doesn't matter. I'm going to work, if for only one day in my life, to work so that I come home tired out and fall asleep as soon as I get into bed. Workmen must sleep so soundly.
I bought these colored pencils for you just now, as I passed Prozorof on Moscow Street. And this, it's a penknife.
You have grown used to thinking of me as if I were little, but I am grown up, you know. Oh, how lovely.
And I got it done myself also. Look, there's one blade, and another, and a third. And this is for your ears. And this is for cleaning your nails.
Doctor, how old are you?
Me? 32.
Let me show you another enemy.
What a wind there is.
Yes, I don't like winter. I've already forgotten what summer is like.
The game is working out, right? I see we shall go to Moscow.
No, it's not working out at all. You see, the 8 is over 2 of spades. Ha! That means you won't go to Moscow.
Ah, Sinzakov, smallpox is raging there.
Masha, come to tea, my dear. Come, Your Honor. Excuse me, I've forgotten your name.
Bring it here, Nanny. I'm not going there.
Nanny!
Coming.
Little children understand. They understand very well. Now, I was saying this morning, good morning, Badon. Good morning, darling. And he looked at me in quite a special way. Now, you may say that I say this because I'm a mother, but I assure you that he is an extraordinary child.
If that child were mine, I'd cook him in a frying pan and eat him.
Happy people don't notice whether it's winter or summer. I think if I lived in Moscow, I wouldn't mind what the weather was like.
The other day, I was reading the diary of a French minister written from prison. The minister was condemned for the Panama affair, but with what delight and enthusiasm he describes the birds he sees from his prison window. Now that he's released, of course, he notices birds no more than before when he was a minister. In the same way, you won't notice Moscow when you live in it. We never have happiness, we only long for it.
Oh, what has become of the sweets?
Solyony has eaten them.
All?
There's a letter for you, sir.
For me. Oh my God. Yes, of course. Forgive me, Maria Sergeyevna. I must go. I won't have tea. Always these upsets.
What is it? Not a secret.
My wife has taken poison again. I'm very sorry. I must go. I'll go this way without being seen. My fine, dear, splendid woman. Go this way unnoticed.
Where is he off to? I've just given him his tea. What a man.
Leave me alone. You pester me. You bother me, old lady.
Why are you so huffy?
Anfisa! There. Let me sit down. You take up all the table with your cards. Drink your tea.
Well, how mean you are, Masha?
If I mean, don't talk to me. Don't interfere with me.
Do not interfere. Do not interfere.
You may be 60 years old, but you talk rot like a schoolboy just to raise hell.
My dear Masha, why make use of such expressions? With your attractive appearance, I tell you straight away, you would be simply fascinating in a well-bred social circle if it were not for the things you say. Je vous prie, pardonnez-moi, Mary, mais vous avez des manières grossières.
Oh, give me. I think that's some brandy right there.
All right, come on, Baba, change our dinner pot. He's awake, he's well today. Excuse me. Well, where has Alexander Ignatovich gone?
Home. Something to do with his wife again.
Oh, you always sit alone. Thinking, and there's no making out what you're thinking about. Oh, come, let's go. Let's make peace. Let's have a drink of brandy and I'll have to play the piano all night. Play all sorts of trash. Well, here goes.
What do you mean make peace? I've had no quarrel with you, Baron.
You always make me feel as though something had gone wrong between us. You are a strange character. There is no denying that.
Yes, I am strange, but who is not strange? Be not wrath, Aleko.
I don't see what Aleko has got to do with it.
When I am tete-a-tete with someone, I am perfectly normal, just like anyone else. But the second I get into company, I feel stressed and ill at ease, and say all sorts of stupid and idiotic things, but at the same time, I am more straightforward and conscientious than most, and I can prove it.
I often feel angry with you. You're always attacking me whenever we're in company, and yet somehow I like you. Oh, I'm gonna drink a lot tonight. Let's drink.
Yes, let's. I've had no quarrel with you, Baron, but at the same time, I must admit that I have the temperament of Lermontov. In fact, I'm rather like Lermontov to look at. Or at least so I've been told.
Yes. You know, I've resigned my commission. I've had enough of it. I've been thinking of it for a great long time now, and I have finally come to a decision. I'm going to work.
Forget thy dreams. Be not wrath, Aleko.
I am going to work.
And the food, too, was real Caucasian-type stuff. Onion soup, and for the meat dish, chehatma.
Chehatma, trimsha. Trimsha is not a meat, but it's a plant, rather like our onion.
No, my dear boy. Chehatma is not an onion, but rather mutton that has been roasted a certain way.
But I tell you that trimsha is an onion.
And I tell you that chehatma is mutton.
And I tell you that trimsha is an onion.
What's the use in arguing with you? You've never been to the Caucasus or eaten chehatma.
Of course I haven't eaten trimsha. I can't stand the smell of it. It smells like garlic.
That's enough, please. Are the carnival party coming tonight?
They promised to come at 9, so they'll be here directly.
Oh, my poor. Oh, my newborn, with post of maple wood
and lattice work complete.
Oh, hang it all! Let's have a drink. Oh, Andrusha, let's drink to our everlasting friendship. I shall go to the university at Moscow when you do, Andrusha.
What do you mean, go to the university? Which? There are 2 universities in Moscow.
There is only one university in Moscow.
But no, I tell you, there are 2 universities in Moscow.
There may be 3 for all I care. So much the better.
No, but there are 2 universities in Moscow, the old one and the new one. And if you don't care to hear what I say, or if what I say offends you, then I can be quiet. I can even leave if I want to.
Oh, bravo! Bravo! Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin. I will play. That's a funny fellow, that Solyony.
The Baron is drunk. The Baron is drunk. The Baron is drunk. Ivan Romanich. Who are you?
Well, what is it?
It's time we were going.
Good night! It's time to go.
Excuse me, what about the carnival party?
They won't be coming. You see, dear, Natasha says Bobik is not well, and so... In fact, I know nothing about it, and I don't care either.
Bobik isn't well.
Not the first time we've had to lump it. If we're kicked out, we must go. It's not Bobik that's ill. She's a bit petty, vulgar creature.
What a pity. I was meaning to spend the evening, but of course the child's ill. I'll bring him a toy tomorrow.
Yes, well, I had a nap after dinner today on purpose, assuming I'd be dancing all night. Why? It's only 9 o'clock.
Let's go outside. We can talk there. We'll figure out what to do.
Good night.
The Baron is drunk. The Baron is drunk.
You know, I never had time to get married. Life just seemed to pass me by like a bolt of lightning, and, well, besides, I was already passionately in love with your mother, who was married.
You shouldn't get married. You shouldn't because it's boring.
That's all well and good, but what about loneliness? Say what you will, it's a dreadful thing to be lonely, my dear boy.
Come on.
What's the hurry? We have time yet.
I'm afraid my wife may stop me.
Oh.
I won't play tonight. I'll just look on. I don't feel very well. Do you have a cure for shortness of breath?
Oh, it's no use asking me, my dear boy. I don't remember.
Let's go to the kitchen.
What is it? The mummers, they're all dressed up. Nanny dear, just tell them there's no one home. They must excuse us.
Everyone's gone. Where are they all?
They've all gone home.
So you're all alone.
Yes. Good night.
I behaved tactlessly, without sufficient restraint. But you're not like most people. You're pure and noble, and you can see the truth. Only you could understand me. I love you. Deeply and infinitely.
Good night. You must go.
But I can't live without you. Oh, such beautiful, marvelous, exquisite eyes, such as I have never seen in any other woman.
Don't, Vasily Vasilovich.
Oh my joy, for the first time I'm speaking of love to you. And I don't feel like I'm on Earth, but on some other planet. But I can't force kindness from you. But at the same time, there must be no successful rival. I swear by all that is good and holy, I will kill any rival. Oh, my angel.
Right in there. Read. Excuse me, Vasily Vasilyevich. I didn't know you were here. I'm in my dressing gown.
I don't care. Good night.
You're tired. Poor dear girl. You really ought to go to bed earlier.
Is Bobik asleep?
He is asleep, but he is not sleeping quietly. By the way, I've been meaning to talk to you, but either you are out or I haven't the time. Bobik's room is chilly and damp, and your room is so nice for a baby. You might move for a time into Olga's room.
Where?
You will move into Olga's room, and Bobik will have your room. He's such a darling. Today I said to him, Bobik, you are mine, you are mine. And he looked at me with his funny little eyes, and Protopopov? What a crazy fellow. Protopopov has come and he wants me to go out with him in his sleigh. How strange men are. Someone has come. I'll be right there. Tell him I might go with him for half an hour. Must be Olga. You must be cold. Come in. We're going to...
Well, this is a surprise. They said they were going to have an evening party.
Strange. When I left half an hour ago, they were expecting the carnival people.
They've all gone home.
Has Masha gone too? Where is she gone? And why is Protopopov waiting below in his sleigh? Whom is he waiting for?
Don't ask questions. I'm tired.
Oh, isn't she a bad little girl?
Meeting is only just over. Tired out. Headmistress is ill, so I have to take her place. Kid. Andrey has lost 200 rubles at cards yesterday, and the whole town is talking about it.
Yes, I'm tired out from the meeting too.
My wife took it into her head to give me a fright tonight. She nearly poisoned herself. It's fine. It's all right now, and I'm glad. It's a relief. So we are to go away? Very well, then I will say goodnight. Fyodor Ilyich, let's go somewhere together. I can't go home tonight. I can't possibly. Come along.
I'm tired. I'm not coming. And I'm tired. Has my wife gone home?
I expect so.
Thank you. I have all day tomorrow and the next to rest. I was counting on spending the evening in pleasant company. Oh, follow hominum spem, accusative of exclamation.
Well then, I must go alone.
Oh, my head! Andrey has lost the cards and the whole town is talking about it. We'll go lie down. Tomorrow I'll be free. God, how nice that sounds. Tomorrow I'll be free, and the day after I'll be free. Oh, my head. My head.
They've all gone away. There's no one left.
I'll be back in half an hour. I'll only go a little way.
I want to go to Moscow. To go to Moscow.